In the past few weeks, several airlines have been receiving bomb threats, but so far all have been hoax calls. However, government is also working to chalk out proper strategy and also to make strict rules so as to nab the accused and also stop these all hoax calls. And I'm being joined by cyber expert Amit Dubey ji, who will tell us in detail so as to how these calls are made, how the VPNs are used, and also why it is very difficult to those who make these calls. Thank you so much, sir, for speaking with Times Network. Sir, first of all, please tell us that how these calls are made, because if it would have been just one or two calls, it would be easy to trace. But there are multiple calls that are being made.
See, we need a setup for this through which we can even generate a call from any number, anybody's number. We call that call spoofing pattern. So inherently, all telecom systems, they have a vulnerability where we can change the caller IDs of any PBX system through a PBX system. So we set up a VoIP server, voice over IP server, and then we set up a PBX server, exchange server. And that VoIP call is converted into the landline call. And while it is converted into the landline call, the caller ID is changed. And if there is a VPN on this VoIP server, then even if we are tracing through that PBX, we'll land up to some VPN IP. So this is what have been used here, where these calls are generated through internet, but then eventually landed on normal network. And then people were informed about these bomb threats. Similarly, we have also received emails. Those were sent through VPN servers. VPN is basically a virtual private network which enables you to change your IP address to any other location. So even if you are sitting in India, you can switch your IP address to any country. Netherlands, Japan, Pakistan, anywhere. Criminals also use multiple VPNs. So they might be using one VPN and another VPN. In that chain of VPNs, it becomes much more difficult for law enforcement agencies to reach out to the original IP address or the culprit, and it takes lots of time, which goes in favor to these criminals. So all this technology actually enabling them to become anonymous or hidden for the time being. But even though I say that, it is possible to trace them. This is not impossible. But it takes time because it involves multiple countries and we need to send requests to them and then seeking this information in time. Because this is a critical case, it is actually hampering lots of businesses and also reputation. I'm sure government is trying their best to reach out to those criminals, and we will. But for the timing, this is a big challenge. We also need to implement some strategies to avoid this in future, because this can be done by anybody. And right now, I'm assuming that it is done by some state-sponsored bodies or anti-national bodies being operated through various countries, support of various countries. But if somebody just for the prank or something, even if he does that, it becomes much more difficult and it will be considered equally serious and sensitive. So to avoid that, we need to implement some proactive measures where people should not be able to deliver or to make any calls to us, to official people through VPN.
So sorry to interrupt you. Sir, if it, as you have said, that mails are also coming, calls are coming, they're also posting it on social media. Generally, when people post on social media, say these calls are coming particularly on social media on X. So why is it not easy to trace them via the IP address? Generally, in the crime cases, what we do is,
you know, when Elon Musk acquired Twitter or X, there was a serious discussion going on at that time that almost 25 to 30% Twitter handle could be fake, and the deal was about to get cancelled. But then, because of the global pressure and everything that has gone through, but this is fact. And Twitter is not removing those fake handles, though they say that they keep doing that exercise, but there are millions and millions of such Twitter handles. Those are being operated through bots and they run through VPN handles. So all these criminals, they take the advantage of that. They create an anonymous handle. They use VPN servers and then do any such post, anonymous post, threatening somebody or defaming somebody or saying anything about any big company also.
sir, so a person sitting in India can change his location to anywhere in the world. Is that what you mean to say?
Yes, it is possible through VPN servers. Though we have a law in India that all these VPNs, those are allowed in India, they should maintain the log. But many of these VPNs still operates violating this law and they don't keep these logs, or they don't provide these logs to law enforcement agencies. That's why criminals take the advantage of it. But it is a responsibility of Twitter also. It is the responsibility of all these platforms, email service providers or telecom companies, that why should they allow anyone to post anything through VPN? They can actually proactively detect that this is an anonymous handle and should be verified. And they also can proactively understand that this is a threat. This is something which is not sane, and they should immediately remove it.
But so there could be multiple accounts like this. How many accounts?
They can do it. See,
will be
even if there are multiple accounts, the technology is like that because they are using AI to understand you, and then only they provide you advertisement or sponsored ads or everything. When they can use technology to push those things, they can also use technology to protect you against that. Right? The only thing is the intention. If they have the right intention, they can simply block all those handles. Those are operated through VPN. It is possible. We can easily check through IP addresses. Once you connect to any service or server, the very first thing you do is to give your IP address. Without giving your IP address, you cannot connect to any server. Now, if the server understands that this IP belongs to VPN, why should they allow us to post anything? So this can be done easily at Twitter or X site. They are not doing it because this will hamper their business. There are 30% accounts, those are actually doing some business for them, for marketing, for promotions, or trending anything. So once it becomes business, the priority gets changed.
Who could be the one entity, or there could be multiple people involved in it, or there could be one individual holding multiple accounts? So what do you say, that who could be behind it? Some antisocial elements, or maybe some random person?
See, this is not a random person for sure. This is a very organized thought. They are targeting government, first of all. They are targeting specific agencies. They are targeting organizations. Those can lead to huge losses. See, if the similar kind of threat would come to school, that would have come earlier, there will be some loss, some disturbances. But if this would come to airline or a flight, this will lead to a bigger losses and reputation losses at international level. People will stop traveling to India. They'll cancel their flight. The tourism will suffer, and the loss which had happened because of that flight also is there. And in future also, to build that confidence again will take time. So there are long-term consequences because of such kind of threats. And if these will keep on happening, and this kind of disturbance will keep on happening, I think this will lead to huge loss to GDP also. So the loss that we get through a bomb blast, I think that would be limited, but then the loss because of simple hoax calls is much bigger than that.
So how Indian government or how the Indian cyber security can itself help to stop all these calls, or can trace the calls, or can avoid such kind of calls?
I think we need to be a little proactive. We cannot wait that people should send me a email or call and then I should investigate and catch them. We should do that for sure, and we will. But then we should also implement some proactive measures where nobody should send us such email. Nobody should allow us to communicate through any such channel. See, if I have a phone, then only somebody can inform me through phone. If I don't have a phone, or if my phone is specific phone, then I'm protected. So we need to protect our incoming channels also, that if I'm receiving a call from VPN based systems, and I think some technology need to be implemented at telecom operator side, some technology need to be implemented at the email server side, where we can block all these communications. Those are coming through VPNs or anonymous IDs, non-credible IDs. And we need to build a system where we should give some credibility rating to email IDs or mobile numbers. If somebody is calling me without credibility, I should simply block it.
All right. A message that you would like to give, sir, being a cyber expert, and you have been knowing the length and breadth of investigation also, you have been involved in many such cases. What would you like to say?
See, first of all, hoax call is a hoax call. If somebody wants to do a bomb blast, they'll not give you a call or send you an email. They'll just do it. So these people, they just want to create panic, and that itself gives them their result in terms of reputational or monetary loss. So don't worry. First of all, these are just indirect attacks to your economy, and we should wait for this investigation to over. I'm sure we'll get some criminals, But then I'm again endorsing to our agencies, government departments, and in fact airports also to strengthen their securities so that they should be more confident, because you are scanning every person, every bag, every entity which is entering to that flight. If you are sure that nothing can be done, it is not possible, then such kind of host call will not hamper your business or any such operation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So this was cyber expert Mr. Amit Dubey in conversation with Times Network. In fact, highlighting this particular fact that yes, bomb blast does cause a big loss, but greater loss is also because of the threat calls that the airlines are receiving right now. With Vijay Dilip Kumar, this is Stage 3 for Times Network from Noida.